Halogenoalkanes could undergo a couple of different reactions, and you do need to know the mechanisms for them. This is the first one. This is nucleophilic substitution. Now, this describes perfectly what's happening here. And that is that the halogen atom is substituted for a nucleophilic group. So in other words, what we're looking at here, your two options are a hydroxide ion or a cyanide ion. Okay, so the hydroxide ion obviously got a negative charge. It's got a lone pair on it, just like the cyanide ion is exactly the same. It's got a lone pair on the carbon and it's got an overall negative charge. So let's not forget, nucleophiles are electron-rich species. They're going to be attracted to something that's delta positive. So in this tutorial, what we're going to be looking at is that nucleophilic substitution reaction with hydroxide ions and cyanide ions. There is another reaction you need to know, and that's the nucleophilic substitution with ammonia. And that's slightly different. I think it's important we look at that on a separate tutorial. So the first one we'll look at is with this hydroxide ion. This does have another name. It's also known as hydrolysis. So just be aware that if you can be talking about hydrolysis with respect to this reaction. It's like a slang name, if you like, for this nucleophilic substitution with hydroxide ions specifically. So before we look at the mechanism, what reagents and conditions do we need to know? Well, firstly, our reagent here is aqueous sodium hydroxide. Really important aqueous, okay? And that will come to the fore later on when we look at a different reaction. But aqueous sodium hydroxide, and we need to heat it slightly. Now, also very importantly, for this reaction, our haloalkane that we're using to substitute and the sodium hydroxide aqueous, they do need to be mixed in ethanol to make them miscible, because as we know, halogenoalkanes are not water soluble. So if you just put the aqueous sodium hydroxide in with the haloalkane, they wouldn't actually mix, they'd separate just like oil and water would. So you need to mix them both in ethanol, because ethanol will act as a solvent, dissolve both of them, allow them to interact and actually make them miscible so the reaction can actually happen. So the most important bit is your mechanism. So first of all, I'm just going to draw a standard haloalkane here. So this is just methane, but with one of those hydrogens substituted for a halogen. I'm just using X here because this could be, of course, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, or iodine. And what's really important is you've got to put your dipole in there. So between that delta positive carbon and the delta negative halogen. And of course, our reagent here, the thing that's doing the substituting, our nucleophile, we need to draw that very clearly as well. And with that lone pair that it has, that's what makes it a nucleophile, let's not forget. So the first step here is that the lone pair on that hydroxide ion is attracted to the delta positive carbon. So that lone pair attracted to the delta positive carbon. You'll notice I've done a very specific thing there, and that's the arrow goes from that lone pair straight to that delta positive. You've got to be very specific with your curly arrows here. Secondly, we're drawing an arrow from that CX bond to the X minus. Okay, so it's from the bond to the X minus. And the reason for that is that CX bond breaks by heterolytic fission. So both of those electrons from that bond are going to that X delta minus. So what do we make as part of this process? Well, of course, that OH is now substituted in for the X, and that creates an alcohol. So we are turning a halogenoalkane into an alcohol during this process. And what we also get is the ion. So that halide ion with that lone pair of electrons that it gained from the bond, making that halide ion X minus in this case. So if I was to summarize this overall, we start with our haloalkane, that's our RX, okay? R being any length carbon chain, and of course the X representing the halogen. That's of course in alcohol. Like I said at the top there, they need to be mixed in ethanol to mix the two things together. But really importantly, aqueous sodium hydroxide. I can't stress that enough, because if it's not, then a different reaction will occur. So aqueous sodium hydroxide, that gives us our alcohol. And of course, the byproduct here is NaX. You could call it the sodium from the sodium hydroxide and the X minus ion that we liberated or substituted from that halogenoalkane in the first place. And again, overall, we're turning a halogenoalkane or haloalkane into an alcohol. So that mechanism there, really straightforward, just one step that we need to know, but being very specific with your charges, your lone pairs, and of course your curly arrows.